The Arty 84 Show.
All right, what's going on, everybody? This is Arty84, and you are watching the Arty84 Show, episode 245. It is the Monday edition. If you're watching this live on Facebook, welcome. Leave your comments below. I'll try to get to them as they come. And if you're watching this recorded on YouTube or any other platforms, welcome. And well, it's a Monday. We survived, and it's been a hell of a weekend. If you guys have been following the news, we have a lot to cover in this half-hour show today. But first of all, breaking news about an hour ago, President Donald Trump has finally picked his running mate for the 2024 election, and it was down to one of the nominees, so it's not a surprise of who he picked. He was one of five that he pretty much had narrowed down. For the most part, I was pretty sure it was going to be Tim Scott from South Carolina, and it wasn't. It ended up being JD Vance of Ohio, senator from Ohio, and we're just learning a little bit about Jay. He's relatively new in politics, or I should say, yeah, I guess politics as a whole. We're gonna share the screen over there and talk a little bit about our new a new possible vice president candidate, JD Vance. James David Vance. He is an American politician serving as a junior U.S. Senator in the state of Ohio since 2023. A little fun information about him. He is 39. He's my age. His birthday is actually 2 weeks after mine. He will be 40 years old in August, August 2nd to be exact. He is ex-military, U.S. States Marine Corps. He's a corporal, 2nd Marine Aircraft Wing, and he was in the Iraq War. So he's a hero, I guess you could say. I think anyone who serves in the military, regardless if you've seen wartime or not, is a hero in my book because there's a very honorable thing, and we thank you because it wasn't for you, we wouldn't have the freedoms we have today because of your shoulders. So I salute all soldiers, no matter what line of the military they're in, no matter how much time they served, and no matter what they did. Thank you for volunteering and doing what you do. You are all the true Americans out there, so I salute you guys. Thank you. So we have a military guy. Awesome. It's always good to have some military in your presidency. I feel like a long time ago, it was almost like kind of like you needed to serve in the military in order to become president. Obviously, Obama didn't serve in the military. Trump didn't serve in the military. Biden didn't serve in the military because he had a bad foot or something. I don't know. But JD Vance serving in the military, honorable, awesome. And thank you for your service. He is now the new candidate for vice president for Donald Trump's tickets. And the Republican National Convention has started today in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. So that's a big thing right there because this is something we've been looking forward to since Trump has, initially, decided to run for office. He won all the delegates in the primaries. Tonight, those delegates this week will be represented, and he will formally get the ticket, the Republican ticket name on there. I guess I don't know what it's technically called. He'll be officially the nominee, I guess is what you want to call it, for the Republican Party for the third time in his life. So far he's 1 for 1. So we'll see what happens the third time around. But a little bit more about JD. He's from Middletown, Ohio. He's married. Let's see. He went to it looks like Ohio State University for his bachelor's degree, and then went to Yale University, which is awesome. So he's a smart guy too. I'm looking at the state right now. You probably can see it. I'll bring it up right here for all you to see. This is what he won in the election for 23 when he ran for Senate. Okay. Now, if this tells you anything right here, it is deep red in a lot of these areas. Now, I could tell you, I don't even have to tell you what the blues are. You know what the blues are. That's Cleveland up here. That's Columbus over here. I think that's Dayton. Oh, that's Cincinnati right there. I'm not sure what town's up there. I think that's maybe Dayton, Ohio. No, I'm not sure. Maybe Dayton's over here. I'm not privy to the geography of Ohio, but I mean, it's an overwhelming landslide. Obviously, the majority of the population's in this area and the Columbus area and the Cincinnati area, obviously, but and that's obviously typically more of a blue state. But he was able to pull off a lot of the rural farm areas. Ohio is a very interesting state because it's very urban in these areas over here, especially the Cleveland, Columbus area, Cincinnati, whatnot. But it's also very farm. In fact, I was told once that the Amish population, there is a larger Amish population in the state of Ohio than the state of Pennsylvania, which everyone automatically assumes Amish, right? But I think this has a lot to do with why Trump decided to go with Vance on this ticket because Ohio is a swing state, is a very important state to win. You almost need Ohio to win the presidency between Pennsylvania, Ohio, Michigan, and Wisconsin. Who knew these would be the swing states in the world? Remember the days when Florida was the swing state, and Arizona, my Boston accent, and Nevada were swing states. And typically, what the early polls are showing right now is that Nevada and Arizona are no longer swing states. In fact, these states are basically turning red, mainly for the reason because people are leaving California. The Republicans that are leaving California and going to neighboring states, and making that more of a reddish area than a swing before. So we'll see what happens in the election. I have a feeling that just because of how close the elections were, both in Arizona and Nevada, for Biden to win last election, I think there's enough Republicans that have left California and have moved over to those neighboring states to make those two states more of a red state. But Ohio right here, always been a swing state. And look at these numbers. Look at this right here. You can't, if Trump gets all this, you're in like Flint. So I'll tell you right there, it's a pretty good situation right there. So looking at some more stuff right here. We got the dog's acting crazy behind me. We go. His issues. You can do the homework yourself. Hold on one second. We're gonna let the dog. We're just gonna let the dogs out. It seems like it happens every episode. We'll be right back. Hold on. I don't know why the dog wants to go out. We literally just let him know half hour ago. But it's a beautiful day out here. We're in the outdoor porch, by the way. We're here in the outdoor studio. We're drinking a local beer from a brewery called WHYM. It stands for, I think, wheat, hops, yeast, and I forget what the M stands for. But it's basically what they got the name of the brewery for. And it's up in New Hampshire, in Hampton, New Hampshire, I believe. I went there yesterday. I got myself a mini growler. And I am drinking the Hop Dunkin' right now. So cheers for that. And I got, of course, my favorite Father's Day gift of all times, the Trump glass that says, "You are a great dad. Really, really great. Very special. Very handsome. Other dads loses. Totally disasters." Everyone agrees, believe me. And my wife and the kids got this for me because of my Trump impression is spot on, I think. So there we go. So JD Vance, feel free to go and do your own personal homework. He's married to Usha Chukuri. That's, I believe, our name since 2014. They have 3 children. And let's see, blah blah blah. So he's a hometown Ohio boy. Great ticket. I think this is going to be great. I think this helps Trump certify Ohio like that. He really didn't need Tim Scott in South Carolina because that's pretty much going to go Trump anyways. He, at the end of the day, the other options I believe were up in North Dakota. That's going to go red anyways. That's really not going to help you. JD Vance is young. He has the demeanor of Trump in a way of his sense of presenting himself. Kill a bid. Any guy with a bid. How can you go wrong, right? It's been a long time since we had a political figure with a bid. I can't tell you the last. What was the last president that had a bid or vice president that had a bid? We can go way back. I think. Great pickup. I think it's a great ticket. I think this is going to help Trump. It's the younger guy. This is what we need in politics. We need young guys. I'm 40 years old. So is JD. We're the same age. This is the generation that I'm in right now. This is what we need. We need younger people. We can't have these grandfathers and great grandfathers to some in politics much longer. We need people with more of an idea of what we think. He's going to be a great guy to run. Once Donald, obviously, if he gets elected, will be a lame duck presidency, a lame duck president. Well, can't rerun. He had termed himself out, and JD would be a great guy to be on the Republican ticket, hopefully for the next 4 to 8 years. So, knock on wood, that happens. As a Republican, I'm very happy to see this. I think this is a great person to pick. Not who I thought was going to pick, and mine wasn't basically because of location. Mine was going by other aspects of the ticket. But I can't wait to see JD debate Kamala in the vice president debate, which would probably happen sometime in September, October. So that's going to be very, very interesting to see. Can't wait for that. If you're not looking forward to that, then you don't like drama. She's going to try to pull what she'd pull with Pence with the mansplaining or whatever that thing. But JD has a few more balls than Pence. Pence was kind of a pansy, kind of a pushover. He was when Trump was extreme with his outgoing personality, Pence was a nice, mediator. Whereas I think Trump has come down a bit on his demeanor, and I think he can afford to have someone with a little more balls. And I think JD has the balls it takes to be the vice president and future president, hopefully, once Donny Boy is done. I will be interested to see what happens in Ohio for the election. They will have to have a special election for a state senator because there'll be short one. And there's a few Senate races that are going to go on this year as well, which is going to be key for the Republicans to obtain the Senate. And that's the key. Hopefully, we can get the presidency, Republicans get the House, and the Republicans get the Senate, and we can get some real things done, some solid things done, instead of some executive decisions and all that stuff. To get everything done, to be able to have, stuff of the border done, so we don't have to just depend on executive orders and stuff like that. We can actually get stuff done in legislature and a lot of other stuff. So looking forward to that to happen. And JD Vance pick for the vice president nominee. So if you must be living under a rock if you haven't seen what happened this weekend with President Trump. I was at a baseball game watching some collegiate baseball, doing some homework for my other podcast. In case you like baseball, I do a podcast for the Newport Gulls called The Gulls Nest. That can be found by Googling the Gulls Nest or Newport Gulls, and you can see me and Adam Mallet, and we're actually recording that show later on today. But what I was doing there because the Gulls were playing the local team, the North Shore Navigators, and while we were there, we found out that Richard Simmons passed away, and shortly after that Donald Trump had been shot, and it took pretty much the rest of Saturday and all of Sunday. I've been kind of keyed to the TV, basically seeing what the hell was going on and piecing it together. So, not to give this kid any credit, more credit than he needs to be given, but I think it does deserve to be talked about. And I do want to kind of share a little bit, and I want to, share my opinion of this piece of shit, if you will. Let's see if I'm sharing. What am I sharing here? I'm trying to share the screen here. Here we go. I'm sharing myself. So it's a little weird, right? So here he is right here. This is Thomas Matthew Crooks. He's a 20-year-old male. Um and he's from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania, which apparently is about I guess 45 minutes, give or take, from the site of Bethel, Pennsylvania, where President Trump was a attempted assassination. First time in my lifetime a president has been attempted, or a vice president or a candidate has been attempted an assassination attempt on him. I sound like Kamala Harris right there with my word salad. The last time this was attempted on someone was Ronald Reagan in 1981. So it's been 43 years since this has happened, which I will give you is a nice chunk of time to show that the Secret Service has been doing their job very, very good, to prevent anything to happen. There may be attempts that have been talked about and we've just never known about because the Secret Service or the FBI has made them go away. This is definitely a lapse in ability for the Secret Service. This is definitely a blemish on their sky. I blame them 100%. They can say that it was the local police that were supposed to help out with the perimeter. At the end of the day, it is their jurisdiction. It's their final call. It's their last call for everything, and I blame them 100%. So hopefully they learned from this. They got extremely lucky. We didn't have a casualty for a candidate because that would have been terrible. The head of the Secret Service will be appearing in front of Congress next week for some questions to be asked. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of questions to be asked. I think this is a huge F up, and I think it needs to be talked about. So, and we need to make sure this doesn't happen again, no matter what your candidate is. And I will go out there and say, I'm not a Biden fan, but I will say I am happy that of his cordialness after the events. He did come out and he had a press conference, like a quickie on Saturday, and he had another one last night. Jill, the first lady, contacted the Trump's wife to give her sympathy, which I thought was very nice as well. And I think this is a really good reset for politics. And I hope it's a reset. I hope this. I'm not saying we should come together, but I also am saying that politics should not have violence in it, right? We can agree to disagree. You may think the sky's green. I might think it's blue. At the end of the day, we're still Americans living in this country, all right? Obviously, some candidates have certain rights that will affect us in different ways. Thank God we live in the United States of America, where states can change laws and restrictions depending on their state. So if you just don't like it in your state, go to another state. It's as simple as that. And I think that's a great thing. That's why the United States is a great thing. Let's get this asshole off I don't want to talk about him no more. He's a piece of shit. I got a picture of what he looked like after they took him out. And, well, it was very graphic. I'm not going to share it on this program, but they did their job. So hopefully they realize what happened and they can prevent this in the future, because we don't need this to happen to any candidate, Republican or Democrat. You never want to see death. We're human beings. We're Americans. We're all living on this planet. We may disagree on some stuff. And I think if you think what happened to Trump was good, I think you should be calling your therapist today. And I would agree, and I would say the same too. If this was something that was attempted on the president, I think, and you thought it was good, you should also call your therapist, because these are human beings. Despite what you believe or how you feel they perform their job, we all work with coworkers. We all have people that we work with, and we know they don't do their jobs well, on our opinions. And death is not something we want to be done to them. Maybe just to lose their job and move on to something else so it doesn't affect you is more of the thing, not to be dispatched and a loss of a life. We did lose a life. In fact, it was a fire chief, I believe he was from a neighboring town in Pennsylvania, who was on the unfortunately one of the bullets that was shot. So that's unfortunate. There is a GoFundMe that was set up for all the victims, people who were wounded. I think there was two other people who were wounded. And it's a significant amount of money, 3 million plus right now for that. And I just say keep on donating, and God bless. And it's very sad that we had to have someone lose their life over this stupid, absolute stupid act of violence that doesn't need to be this. But with this said, both sides have to stop spreading lies about how Trump is, bad for, the nation, like how he will take away rights and all this stuff. You can't say extreme lies. It's not going to happen. You have to stop lying about the candidates. And it proves that this is the fact that these news organizations lie blatantly, and politicians lie too. Apparently, Joe Biden doesn't realize the internet exists because he acts like it's 1985 and he can say anything and it's going to be difficult to fact check. We can fact check everything. In fact, everything can be said back, even past when he was a senator in the early days of the 70s. And that goes for any candidate in any party. You can't get away with lying these days because there is enough stuff on the internet that basically will rebut what you said purely because everything's documented these days. So stop lying. Just stop lying. You will be called out in lies. Okay. And people who, if they're smart enough and do the right homework, will find out. And that goes for both sides. Okay. We'll leave it at that. But you can't be spreading this false, rhetoric about candidates and what they're going to do and how terrible it's going to be and how you're going to lose your rights and stuff. It's not happening. It's never going to happen. It's not going to happen. Stop it. Stop lying. Stop making up all these lies. These people on Twitter, I follow these people on Twitter, and they're basically paid, paid people for parties, and they spread all this rhetoric, and it's all lies. But I can prove why the world knows that the media is twisted. It's because Morning Joe, that POS, was not allowed to go on the air this morning. He was not allowed to be on the air this morning. Morning Joe and the chick he's with, or whatever her name is, who are the most extreme liars on TV. No, I mean, they're pretty close to The View, but I think they're the worst. Morning Joe is the absolute worst. The fact that MSNBC said, you know what, it's probably best you don't go on the air this morning because they know how terrible of the media they are. Their own network knows how bad they suck. They know how bad he sucked a long time ago when they had to put the girl on because he was by himself for the longest time. That's how bad he sucks. And he's a liar. And they were afraid that if he went on the air, someone would say something that was going to, shine a bad light on MSNBC. Like, you need to do that anyways. I think that they're doing a pretty good job in this house. But that proves you right there by itself that they did not trust him to tell the truth. And that's bad. I mean, I salute people who work at corporate MSNBC who made that decision this morning. It was probably the right decision to make because there's a lot of Kool-Aid drinking, gaslit people that watch certain networks. And this goes with Fox as well. I think you should do your homework. I think you should listen to both sides, and I think you should see how it's covered. After what happened on Saturday night, I switched over to MSNBC to watch what their coverage was. And they had actually punted on anyone who works at MSNBC and went straight to Lester Holt on regular NBC and was streaming him. And I would say the analysis was fair. They provided facts. They weren't biased on any time. Now, if you want to talk about bias, talk about CNN, who wouldn't even call it. They kept calling it an attempted, an apparent shooter. No, it was a shooter. There's blood. Apparent. Stop acting like this was not something that happened. Stop it, CNN. Really? You guys, haven't you learned your lesson that your ratings stink? Just report the news. You're a news organization. The former president, the Republican candidate, was attempted assassination. You could say that. The facts were there. Okay? Like every other network, except for you. So I don't know what your problem is, but with that said, thank God the president's okay, President Trump. This week starts the Republican convention, and we will hear from some speakers. Since Nikki Haley was actually invited to speak. Ron DeSantis will be there, amongst other people who will be saying a few things in regards to the days that they had. They split the days up into different categories of what they want to talk about: the economy, about general living. It's like four different categories, which is pretty cool. So, looking forward to hearing some of that. Of course, in a few weeks we get the Democratic National Convention, and they'll be doing something similar as well. And that's the progress. This is how we do things in America for politics. Okay, let's leave the extreme BS at home. Let's stop the gaslighting. Let's stop the drinking of the pudding. You believe one way and believe me the other. I was shocked the amount of people I seen on Facebook over the weekend with their cold, derogatory, and terrible comments regarding the attempted assassination of the President of the United States, former president. Shocked. Disgusted. And then they want to turn around and say if it was the other way around, Republicans would say, well, no. Not all Democrats were disgusted. Some were. And if it was the other way around, not all Republicans would be disgusted with their comments. Some will. And those people are still disgusted, no matter what Democratic Party. If anyone thought what happened on Saturday was a good thing, and you leave comments like the guy, too bad the guy missed, like the guy working for one of the representatives in Congress, the representative who wanted Donald Trump's Secret Service to be taken away, those people are sick. There's something wrong with those people. They need to see a psychologist. If you ever want someone's life to be taken just because you don't like them, means you're a sick individual and you need help. And you probably do need help because there is a mental illness issue in this country. In fact, this kid, Thomas Matthew Crooks, definitely had some mental illness to do something like this. You have to be messed up in the head. Now, what these congressmen and women have to do is to better the mental health issue in the United States. That is number one. You cure or you tame the mental health issue that we have here, provide proper help for people that need help, make it easy for people to report people and give them the help that they need. You will see a significant amount of gun violence dramatically reduced, especially situations like this, because there would be avenues for people to travel on to help. And I think, and I kind of know, that if you were able to help these people, they wouldn't be menaces to society, no matter what political side you're on, no matter what you believe in. This kid needed help. And unfortunately, he never got to receive the help, and he was dispatched. Rightfully so. So saved us a lot of tax money taking care of him. Because you get that idiot in the Boston bombing who survived that they should have took out, and they didn't. And he keeps living in prison, sucking on the American teat, and then trying to appeal his decision time and time again. They should have just took him out when they could in the boat. Oops, I hit the trigger by mistake. Save us a lot of tax money. Save us a lot of dealing with court and all that stuff. So, with that said, we move on. We sail on, as you will. We are going to officially have Donald Trump as the Republican candidate by the end of the week. In a couple of weeks, we're going to most likely officially have Joe Biden as the Democratic candidate at that point. And it'll be Trump Biden 2.0. And the only really difference is it would be the VP. It would be JD Vance will be on the ticket instead of Mike Pence. So with that said, thank you guys for watching. I didn't mean to make this show so political this week, but there was a lot of politics going on in the last couple of days, and I felt like I needed to address it. I promise you, unless anything significantly happens over the course of the week, Friday's show will be a lot lighter since it is my 40th birthday on Friday, and I'll be celebrating and sharing it with you guys. So thank you guys so much. Thank you for watching. If you're watching on Facebook, thank you. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, leave your comments below, and we'll get back to you at all. With that said, you guys all have a wonderful week. And I know we made it through Monday, so we're 4 more days left to the weekend. So we can do it. I believe in you. I know we can do this together. And I thank you guys, and I will see you guys on Friday for the Arty 84 show. I'm Arty 84. Where's Arty.com? Also, check out our new website, Masshole Sports Network. And we'll see you guys soon. Thank you. And toodaloo.